Hey guys, this is Jason Morris here this morning with Real Estate Agents That Really Work. here. Give me just a second here. We're just getting going. I just got to get my live feed up to make sure it's working all right. And let's see, we got people already on. And this is kind of an early morning webinar here. So cool. You guys can hear me okay? Guys, so you guys that logged on just a few minutes early, that was the zbuyer website. Guys, this is what a zbuyer lead looks like. This is basically your login screen. You get your own private account where you can log in. You can look at your leads. I'll show you this. You can look at your leads. You can make notes in them. You can rate the quality of the lead. You can create folders to move them into. You can do basically your zbuyer system kind of acts as a basic CRM, right? So this person, Joe, came through the site. He's got a property at 428 Camden Circle in Pawleys Island. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Reason for selling is other. Asking price. Now, this is user-generated information. This is not information that was pulled or mined from somewhere. This guy physically went to a website and put this stuff in there. Asking price is $350,000, and here he put estimated value. But this is user-generated stuff, so he put this amount in there. Then we have his phone number and his email there. We can click to see it. And typically these phone numbers are actually cell phone numbers. So guys, I tell you what, let's just get into it here and get started. I know it's 8 o'clock in the morning. You guys are getting ready to start your day. So what is zbuyer and how do I get listings from it? Okay, so I found zbuyer probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I quickly kind of figured out what these leads were. What zbuyer is, zbuyer originally started, and it was a website that just generated we buy houses type leads, right? So zbuyer actually operates a chain or a network of we buy houses sites where basically they sell leads from them. Okay, and that's something that you want to remember when you're looking at or when you're thinking about this sort of lead services, because now this isn't your typical lead service. These aren't for sale by owners. These are not expireds. I mean, some of them may have been on the MLS and some of them may be for sale by owners, but these are not your typical lead service like a lot of people think, because these are people that are actually they're going through a website, whether they found it online, whether they somehow or another ended up in zbuyer's database, whatever it is. But they went to a website and they filled out a form that says they want to sell their house, right? So you got to keep that in mind. These people, when they went online, they filled out a form that said, hey, we want to sell our house. Okay, so that's what it actually is. zbuyer, the name's a little misleading. People see zbuyer and they think it's buyer leads. Now, zbuyer does generate buyer leads. Now, me personally, I focus on the seller leads because I think that's where the real value is. But me personally, if you listen to a lot of my coaching and stuff, I don't really focus on buyer leads myself anyway. But zbuyer does generate buyer leads. So I just told you where they actually come from is they come from a network of we buy houses type websites. You know, I focus on the seller leads. They do have buyer leads. What we're going to talk about is seller leads, because honestly, I feel like the service is worth the price you pay for it, even if you don't work the buyer leads, because that is actually what I do with it. So how are the leads delivered to you? And how can you contact them first? Okay, so the person typically goes through one of these websites and then it's filtered in through a CRM. And if you guys that logged on here, you guys actually saw what the lead actually looks like. The lead is delivered three ways. You've got an app that actually goes on your phone and it notifies you, and it's actually it's emailed to you. But here's the secret. Now for you guys, I know one of the questions I get is, are these exclusive leads? No leads are exclusive. That buyer or seller that you're that has contacted you, more than likely, unless it is your brother or sister or your mom and dad, they probably have already talked to another real estate agent, or they're going to talk to another real estate agent after you. I guarantee you there are no leads that are exclusive. zbuyer isn't, Zillow isn't, no, realtor.com isn't, but zbuyer, you do have an advantage, okay? And this is how you have an advantage, is you have to check the website. Okay, the leads on the website, the leads don't come through the app and through email until after they go through quality control. Okay, so if you were checking the website, and I typically check the website about, I check it in the morning around 7 o'clock in the morning. I usually check it, throughout the day 3 or 4 times, just depending on what I got going on. But I try to check it 3 or 4 times a day. Now, and the reason is because they'll show up on the website in your account way before they actually show up on the app. And sometimes over the weekend, quality control doesn't work, it doesn't seem. So I'm telling you one of their secrets. Quality control don't work on the weekend. You should check this app constantly over the weekend, because the leads coming through on the weekends don't go through the app or get emailed usually until Monday morning, right? So if you check it on the weekend, you're going to be first, but you need to check it every morning. You need to check it morning, noon, and night, basically. And as soon as they come through, you need to call them ASAP. So now what is your script? Okay, I want to show you guys my script, but I want to talk to you a few minutes about what your script is, because it's not a regular script. Okay, now keep in mind, these people came through a site where they're looking for a cash offer on their house. So you can't call them up and go, hey, this is Jason Morris with EXP. I'm calling you because you wanted to list your home. Now, and I'll tell you, list is one of those words that I wish that we would get rid of from our vocabulary in the real estate industry, because the term list is really industry slang. It means nothing really to the general public, except for to the general public, it has a negative connotation. If they have been on the market and they have been with a realtor and they expired, listing is a bad word, okay? Because these people, they've already listed their house. Their last agent listed their house and it didn't work out. They don't want to list their house again. They want to sell their house. So you need to eliminate the word listing from your language, from your vocabulary, from your language you're using with sellers. It's only industry slang anyway. Honestly, outside of the real estate industry, nobody uses it unless they want to sell their house. And the only reason sellers are using it out there is because agents keep asking them over and over, do you want to list your house? The quickest way to get these people and any lead really to tell you no is to call them and just go, hey, this is Jason Morris from eXp Realty. I'm calling you to list your house. They will tell you no. They will probably tell you something nasty. They will hang up the phone on you. That's the quickest way to get a no, is ask them to list their house as soon as they answer the phone. So this is what my script looks like, guys. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload this. I'm going to download this as a PDF. These slides, and I'm going to upload it to the file section in Real Estate Agents That Really Work. So this is what my phone script looks like. It's, hey, this is Jason Morris with eXp Realty. I saw you came through our website looking for a cash offer on your home at whatever the address is, blank. We'll use 123 Main Street. So, hey, this is Jason Morris with eXp Realty. I saw you came through our website looking for a cash offer on your house at 123 Main Street. And I'll let them answer. Now, sometimes, I'll tell you, sometimes if you're not calling them right away, you're calling them 3 or 4 days down the road, a week down the road, they might not remember going through your website. Okay, or maybe it was the wife that went through the website and she put the husband's number on there. But, this is one of the reasons why you need to call them ASAP, because if you call them as soon as it comes through, sometimes they're still on the website or they just left the website. So I saw you came through our website looking for a cash offer on your home at 123 Main Street. And they go, oh, yeah, we did. Well, Mr. Seller, you submitted on the website that you wanted $100,000 for your house. Is that price right? You'd accept $100,000 for it? I always confirm the price with them, because sometimes they'll put a number in there. Sometimes the number they're putting in there is their loan amount. Sometimes, who knows where they come up with the number sometimes. But every now and then you get a weird number in there. Like I had one a while back that said 100. It said 160,000. I recognized the address and I was like, oh my God, that is an insane price for that. So I call them up and actually it was 1.6 million. It wasn't 160,000. They just left off a zero. So I always confirm the price with them. I go, oh, okay, well, great. Well, how soon do you want to sell it? Now, here's the thing. A lot of these people are looking for cash offers. But the reality is most sellers kind of have a pretty good idea what their house is worth because there's more information out there in the world now than there has ever been. So if typically most of the zbuyer leads, they're pretty close to retail, what they're looking for, some of them have some extenuating circumstances and different things because these are people, keep this in mind, these are people that are going online and they're seeking out somebody to buy their house. So it's a different lead than what you're typically, what we're used to working with, So how soon do you want to sell your house? And I let them answer. A lot of times you'll hear something, as soon as somebody's got the money, ha, ha, ha. It's, we want to sell it as soon as possible, whatever it is. But I let them answer. And then I just say, great, can you tell me a little bit about the house? And I ask about bedrooms, the condition of the house, the age of the roof. Does it have a garage? Details about the house is going to affect the value. Then the next line in my script, once we get through that, I say, Mr. Seller, I'm going to tell you, I work for a group of investors, and I want to be upfront with you. They typically buy a house with intentions to fix it up, paint, carpet, resell it. I can come look at your house, and I can have them make an offer for you. Now, that offer might not be $100,000 because they're only looking to buy with the intentions to resell. But Mr. Seller, let me ask you, if I could get you $100,000 in your pocket, I know you wanted to sell in 30 days or you want to sell as soon as possible, but to get that $100,000 in your pocket, would you be willing to wait 60 to 90 days for it to close? And then I wait for a yes, because typically they will say yes. Now, if you have somebody who says no, go, okay, well, how soon do you want to close, right? And you just continue with the script. So as soon as they say yes, I set the appointment. Okay, can we meet on Tuesday at 2 p.m.? You always set the time for the appointment. The biggest objection that we create for ourselves as real estate agents is we say, well, Mr. Seller, what time's going to work for you? And they go, well, Jason, I got to talk to my wife. Can I call you back? And then they never call you back, right? So you have to set the time for the appointment. Can we meet Tuesday at 2? Can we meet this afternoon at 4? With zbuyer, I try to meet them as soon as possible. Like if I'm calling them at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd really like to meet them at 12 or 1 o'clock today. I'd like to meet them this afternoon when they get off work because they're thinking about it. They're hot on selling their house. They went through a website. They filled out some information. You want to get them while they're hot. And if you wait 3 or 4 days, if you go, oh man, well, I got this going on, or I want to go eat lunch with my friend, and I want to go home and watch TV, or whatever agents do. Sometimes it blows my mind, or I don't want to work on Saturday, right? And they set the appointment for Monday. What's going to happen? It's Friday today. If you set an appointment till Monday with these people, they are going to talk to other realtors over the next 3 days. And somebody else is going to get involved in the conversation that you had with them. And they are going to list the house before you, or it is going to be an investor that is going to purchase it, right? You need to set the appointment as soon as they are available to meet you. And you need to try to set for today. If they say, I can't meet you today. Oh man, well, I tell you what, I work on Saturdays. How about Saturday morning? Does that work for you guys? Ask them, then set the time for Saturday. If they say, I got to set my wife, I always say, well, I tell you what, let me pencil you in my schedule at 11. And if there's a problem with it, just give me a call back. How's that sound? Right? So then once I set the appointment, you've already got their email address and all that stuff. Just send your pre-listing package, and I follow my typical listing system and how to be a FSBO master. Send the pre-listing package. I text them and make sure they got it. I sent you over some information about me and my company and what we do to sell houses. I want to make sure you got it. If you don't have a pre-listing package, you can download my template at jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com. Now, okay, let's say, because this happens, and we all know this happens all the time, you can't get the person on the phone. So what I do when I can't get them on the phone, I immediately text and email. Let's see, and I had a text script here. Okay, guys, I'm just going to give you my text script. I guess I missed it. My text script is, and I'll add it to the PDF so you guys can download the PDF and it'll be there. So my text script is, I saw you came through our website where you want to sell your house at 123. You want a cash offer on your house at 123 Main Street. When is a good time to call you? The email is the same thing. You came through our website wanting a cash offer. Make sure you put you wanted a cash offer, right? Put that in the text and put that in the email. Sorry I left out that slide, guys, but put that in the text, put it in the email that you send, and send it ASAP. Okay, once you leave that voicemail, okay, and your voicemail needs to say the same thing. Your voicemail needs to be, hey, this is Jason Morris from eXp Realty. You came through one of our websites looking for a cash home on your house at 123 Main Street. Give me a call at your earliest convenience. You hang up, you text them right away. You came through our website. No need, don't be real difficult. Don't get real fancy. Don't try to list it through a text because you're not going to do it. The purpose of the text is to get a time to call them and get them to contact you back, right? So send the text immediately. You came through our website wanting a cash offer on your house at 123 Main Street. When is a good time to call you? And typically, believe it or not, I mean, you can use this script with for sale by owners. You can use it with expired. You can use it with anything. When is a good time to call you? Believe it or not, some people will text you back and say, hey, I get off work at 2 o'clock. You want to call me about 2:30? And you just call it 2:30. It's really that easy. So guys, now I want to tell you guys, so zbuyer leads, I feel like there's some misconception with them sometimes. A lot of agents think that they can do things with them that they can't. They think that they're leads that come through, that they're coming through because they want to list with Jason Morris. They are not. When they come through, they don't know who Jason Morris is, right? All they know is they filled out a form on a website wanting a cash offer. Now, so this is 5 things you cannot do with these leads. If you do these things, you will fail, right? Number 1, you cannot spam them in bulk emails. Okay, number 1, most spam. I'll tell you guys, Google is pretty smart. They can figure out when you're sending spam, right? Once a couple people mark spam, you are never going to get through that email again, right? You cannot spam these in bulk email. Some agents will go, oh, well, what if I put them all in a database and I bulk email them? Or I send them all an email. Buddy, you're not going to get anything from it. Number 1, you're providing no value to them whatsoever. You're sending them an email that they are not interested in. The only thing they were interested in when they signed up for the website is a cash offer. Okay, number 2, I hear agents say, oh, well, I want to subscribe so I can get my assistant or my ISA to call them. Guys, this is one of the biggest misconceptions a lot of agents have. For some reason, us as agents, the number 1 thing we want to get rid of is making the calls ourselves. We're constantly trying to put the call on somebody else. I tell you guys, the only thing that we have in our business anymore, we're not the gatekeepers for information. All we have is trust, okay? And let's say you have your ISA to call them, right? And then you show up for the appointment, okay? You're a guy, you're like me, Jason Morris. You have your ISA call them, and let's just say it's a woman that's extremely organized, has a completely different personality than me. She calls them, they love her on the phone. Then I show up where I'm really blunt. I'm so upfront with some people. Sometimes it's painful when I'm going to list their house because I want them to know every single problem we're going to have, and I don't skip stuff with them, right? So this ISA that's really friendly calls them and really nice, and then I show up and I tell them something different than what my ISA told them. Or maybe I'm not as nice of a person. I don't have funny jokes like she had, when somebody talks to them on the phone and they build a relationship with them and they feel like they have enough trust in that person to allow that person to come in their house, then a different person shows up. It breaks that circle of trust, right? These are not leads you can get your ISA to call, or you can get your assistant to call, right? Now, if you've had 10 conversations with a person and you already have them listed, it's okay for your ISA or assistant to call because you've already built a relationship with them. Your team has already built a relationship with them. These are people that don't know you. I am a firm believer that I don't believe ISAs or assistants should be doing the initial calls to people because I feel like it breaks that trust that you're going to build on those initial phone calls. They might as well be another agent that's calling, right? So number 3, you can't give them the "I want to list your house" bullshit speech, right? Okay. This is why a lot of agents don't do well is they call and as soon as the person answers the phone, they go, "Hey, this is Jason Morris. Let me come list your house," right? And the person goes, "F you, don't call me back. I've had 50 agents call me this morning." And they hang up the phone. Okay. If you call these leads and you talk about listing their house, they are not going to work with you. You need to talk to them about selling their house, right? Like I said before, eliminate the word list from your vocabulary. Okay. Number 4, you cannot drip on them. I tell you guys, this is like my biggest pet peeve in the real estate industry right now. Agents go, "Oh man, well, I'm going to call these people and then I'm going to put them in a drip system and I'm going to drip on them." And I always kind of scratch my head and I go, "Dude, I don't want to be dripped on. I don't know what that is. What are you dripping on them exactly?" I always think of as something just dripping as gross, and it's, think of that in your mind, like what drips, and you're going to drip on these people. These drip campaigns that you guys are doing, most of them are canned anyway. You cannot drip on leads like this and have them to convert. Number 1, you're paying money for them, right? These are valuable leads that you're spending your money on. Why do you want to leave the fate of that lead up to an automated software with a canned email system that's being sent out? So it just doesn't make sense. If you're just getting them from the website and dripping on them, you are not going to list these leads. zbuyer is not going to work for you. If you're not calling, emailing, and texting, zbuyer is not going to work for you, right? Number 5, when a new lead comes through, this is like any other lead source. You cannot wait 5 days to call the new ones. What happens is they filled out the form, whatever life happens. Dude, I can't remember what form I filled out 5 days ago. I can't remember the website I looked at 5 days ago. If you tell me something I did 5 days ago online, I'm probably going to look at you and I don't know what you're talking about. You got to call these people as soon as they come through, because when they come through, they're typically hot on selling their house, right? And you want to get them while they're hot. If you wait 5 days, number 1, somebody else is going to call them before you. And number 2, they may just cool off on selling their house anyway, whatever problem they had. Typically people want to sell their house because they think that they have a problem and they believe that selling their house is going to fix that problem, right? If you give them 5 days, they might figure out another way to fix that problem. So you can't wait 5 days to call your new leads, right? Okay. Now this is the 6th one. And I've had agents asking me about doing this with zbuyer. I've had agents tell me about doing this with zbuyer, and because there are a lot of agents that buy and sell property and they flip properties and stuff like this. Okay, guys, if you're having trouble and you're trying to flip from investor to agent, you really can't do that, because think about this. If you're wanting to sell your house, you're wanting to sell whatever it is, and you have, let's just say, a car for sale. Somebody comes out there and they say, "Oh, well, I resell cars and I want to give you $500 for it because I'm just going to take and resell it." And okay, so they offered you half of what you wanted. Now they're trying to back up. When you say no, they're trying to back up and say, "Well, maybe I can broker it for you and get you $1,000. Okay, you lose a little bit of trust in that person. Okay, so we're already an industry and we're already a profession where we're below attorneys on the trust scale. We're just above criminals on the trust scale nowadays. So you got to pick a role when you're calling these leads. If you're going to flip from investor to agent, you're going to have a really hard time. You either got to call them and you're the investor calling because you want to buy the house, or you got to call them and you're the agent representing a group of investors that buy houses, right? You could be the agent representing the group that buys houses and flip them over to a retail seller a lot easier than you can be. Hey, I want to buy your house for $60,000. No, you don't want to sell. Well, how about I list it for 85? That person immediately thinks, man, you tried to screw me out of 25 grand. No, I don't want you to list it. We'll find somebody else. There's 1,000 agents, that work literally the zip code that I'm living in. So guys, 5 things you can do to succeed with zbuyer. Let's talk about success instead of failure. Okay, so number 1, you got to log in. You got to check the website often. You'll be the first guy that calls them. You're going to be the first person that dials their number. You're going to be the first person that texts them. You're going to be the first person that emails them. Log in and check the website often. Check it in the morning before 8 a.m. because nobody really calls before 8 a.m. Or really, 7:30 it seems like in my market. But log in, check it in the morning. Check it around lunch. Check in the afternoon. Check at 8 o'clock at night. Log in, check the website often. Don't rely solely on the app. Number 2, call as soon as you see a lead come through. As soon as you see that lead, you need to pick up the phone. You need to call them. If you don't get them on the phone, text them and email them right then. That was number 3. If you don't get them on the phone, text and email ASAP. Number 4, you guys, the reason most agents don't succeed in the real estate business is they never follow up with leads, right? You need to write a follow-up plan for your zbuyer leads. Whatever lead source you subscribe to or whatever lead source that you're working, you need to have a written follow-up plan. You need to know what you do. What do you do when they don't answer the phone? Okay. What do you do if they don't respond to that text or email? Do you call tomorrow? Do you call the next day? Do you call, text, and email the next day? Right? You need to make a written follow-up plan that you follow for your leads and for every lead source, because every lead source, sometimes those lead sources need to be different. Now, number 5, with zbuyer, not only do you get the new leads that are coming through, you get their database of old leads. Okay, so you got to call the old leads too, because I will tell you there's a lot of gold in those old leads, because sometimes, that person, they came through the website 6 months ago and they did want to sell their house 6 months ago, but maybe they figured out whatever problem it is. They figured out whatever problem it is, and or maybe they just wasn't ready to sell their house. They were waiting for the kids to get out of school. They were waiting for the kids to go to school. They were waiting for their tenant to move out, whatever it is. Call the old leads, because those old leads, there's money in those old leads. Like my account, I think I got almost 600 old leads in it. And there is money in those old leads with zbuyer. Guys, what does it cost? Okay, zbuyer, here's the thing. zbuyer, the cost is based on the market you're in and the lead volume. Now, I have 2 counties. Those 2 counties, I get about 25 to 30 leads a month. I'm paying about $400. That breaks down to roughly about $14 a lead, right? Some markets, though, I've talked to agents that are in bigger markets like Philadelphia, where they get tons and tons of old leads, or tons and tons of new leads, and their cost is a little bit different. Now, this cost, comparatively speaking to other lead sources, if you're doing direct mail, right, it costs you $100 now to send out 100 letters with the cost of stamps, envelopes, and all that stuff. It costs you $100 to send out 100 basically crappy letters. Okay, if you're doing market evaluation leads, it's going to cost you $8 to do a market evaluation lead or get one from Facebook. If you're doing pay-per-click, it's going to cost you more than that. This is a sit it and forget it type system. You just wait for them to show up in your account, in your email, right? So the cost is, it ranges from $109 a month for the smaller counties. I've seen some of the larger counties over $600 a month. Most counties are somewhere in the middle. You just have to call and see where your county is, because it's based on the market. It's based on the lead volume, right? So now I know how real estate agents are. You know, everybody wants a discount, and zbuyer does give a discount. If you call them, tell them Jason Morris sent you. They really like me because I do webinars like this. I've got a ton of YouTube training and stuff. They like my group because I talk about them and I use them like crazy. I consistently list a house or two a week from them. Call them, tell them Jason Morris sent you, and you're real estate agents that really work, and you get a discount. If you're in a place like me where you got multiple counties that your MLS covers, if you get multiple counties, the discount's a little bit bigger, and the discount's based on the county. You just have to call them and just see what it is. But make sure you call or email and tell them that you're in the group, and that you want the group discount. You know, how do you sign up? Jason Morris zbuyer discount is the website. You can give them a call. You can give them a call at 1-800-379-5559, or you can just email Eva. Eva is in the group quite often. Eva Langley is her name. You can email eva@zbuyer.com. And guys, I got a list of helpful links here that'll be included in the PDF. What I'll do is I'll turn these slides into a PDF. I'll upload them to the file section. Guys, I had a couple of questions here. Let me see if I got any more. Let's see. I had a couple of questions here. Same script with old leads. David, what I do with old leads is I call them up and I just go, hey, this is Jason Morris. You came with eXp Realty. You came through our website a while back and you wanted to sell the house at blank. Okay, so that's typically my script with them. And then I go down through the same thing. What did you want for it? How much do you want it for? I kind of treat it like a for sale by owner at that point, really. But it's really the same script. I text them, I email them. You get a bunch of old ones. Now, I would recommend not putting these in a dialer. I know there's a lot of agents out there that go, oh, well, can we put them in a dialer? Because, you know, agents are lazy. So I'd recommend not putting them in a dialer. And the reason being is because the dialer, sometimes you have to leave a generic voicemail, and sometimes dialers skip voicemails if the voicemail doesn't come on within a certain amount of time, or it leaves half voicemails. These are high quality leads. You need to call them one at a time, and you need to call them from a number you control, right? Don't call them from your office number, because if they call back, they're going to call your office and somebody's going to answer the phone and they're not going to know what the people are talking about. Okay, call them from your cell phone or a number they can call back and they can get you, right? They want to get you because you left them the voicemail. Don't call them from a number that your assistant's going to answer, or an ISA is going to answer, or it's going to go to a Google voicemail that you never check. Give them a number, make it easy for them to get back in touch with you. So, you know, Michael asked, the seller leads are thin in my area. Any suggestions on how to work with the buyer leads? Michael, I tell you, we're in a situation all across the country where seller leads are there's less and less of them, you know. So you got to get a little bit more creative sometimes with them. Now, what I would do with the buyer leads, is I would call them. It seems that to me, I could be wrong, but it seems like a lot of buyer leads are coming through some low down payment, no down payment type websites. So they're looking for VA loans, stuff like that. And all this is user input data. So sometimes, you know, they might put $150,000 is what they're looking for, but in reality, they can only afford, you know, $50,000. So the buyer leads, what I would do with them is I would call them, just say, hey, you came through one of our websites. You you came through one of our websites, and you're looking to buy a house with a low down payment. And then I would just go from there with my script. What are you looking for? Have you already talked to a lender? Have you been approved? What, when, where, and how, you know, or who, what, when, where, and how. Who are you? What do you want to buy? Where do you want to be? How soon do you want to buy it? And how are you going to pay for it, really? So that's what I would do with them. Paul asked, how do you keep track of these for follow-up? Paul, what I would do is I'd put them in and a CRM like Realty Juggler, Lion Desk, whatever you're using. If you don't have a CRM, I'd keep notes in zbuyer. I like to print them out myself and make notes actually on the page and keep them just in a little file folder. Now, if you don't have a CRM you're using, and use Google Calendar. Schedule your follow-ups on Google Calendar. I like to print them out. That way they're sitting right there in front of me on the corner of my desk. And then that's where I'd go. Now I got another thing here. They're rolling out sellers. Donna, they're rolling out seller leads that are not just looking for a quick cash offer. How would you script them different? Now, Donna, what I would do is I would still call them. I would still go through that same script with them, because most of their leads as of today, those leads are coming from We Buy Houses websites. You know, if they're doing market evaluation leads or something like that at some point, you're going to have to change your script a little bit from them. But as of today, that's what's coming through the website. So that's what the script that I would stick with. So guys, I'll show you guys the ones that missed it coming on here at the beginning. I will show you guys real quick just what the website looks like. And let's see if I can get out of my PowerPoint. Eric Gay asked, what CRM am I using? Eric, I really like Realty Juggler. It's pretty easy. I've got my own follow-up app at jasonmorrisfollowupmaster.com. I keep up with like my A leads with and stuff like that. But it's going through some redoing with things right this minute. But let's see here. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys, this is what a lead actually looks like when it comes through. You get an account, you can log in. This is what it looks like when you actually log in. And this is actually what a lead looks like. So typically they come in, you get a name, you get the address of the property, bedrooms, baths, reason for selling. This one says other. This person came through 7-8. They're asking $350,000. You get a phone number and you get an email. They have a little map. What you can do is you can go through, you can look these up, because some of them have been listed, or maybe they were listed when the person bought the property several years ago. So, but I would typically I just call them as soon as I can. That way I can just get them on the phone as quick as I can. But well, guys, I really appreciate all of you being on the webinar this morning. I hope you guys found it very informative. I hope it helps you with your with any problems you're having with zbuyer. If you're looking for a great lead source, if you're looking for a lead source that that's pretty predictable, it's predictable as far as your monthly cost. You get leads delivered to your seller leads. Check out zbuyer. You can give them a call. You can go to jasonmorriszbuyerdiscount.com, and you can inquire about them from there. There are prices. I'll tell you this. You can log into the website and you can see what the county prices are. But I'll tell you guys, call them for the discount. Look in there if you're kind of curious, but call them for the discount actually, or go through jasonmorriszbuyerdiscount.com. Anyway, guys, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. If I can help you with zbuyer or anything, just send me a message through Facebook. Thanks.